are here.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen, coming in at a blazing hot 10,000 kilobits per second, because that's how we do it around here.
Hell yeah, we're elite.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the weekly narrative, your number one alt-centrist live stream on the internet.
There it is, ladies and
What's up,
gentlemen.
y'all?
Coming in at a
I gotta mute the stream.
blazing hot
Look at all
10,000
this
kilobits per second.
high
That's how
production
we do it
quality we
around
have here. Yeah, we're.
It's alright, nobody joins at the beginning anyway.
Yeah, it's okay.
Welcome back,
Oh, and
ladies
my
and
keyboard
gentlemen,
decides not to work right now,
weekly
too.
Narrative, your number one alt-centrist live
Now the
stream on
clicking won't
internet.
work
It is,
either.
ladies
Oops.
We're getting sabotaged.
Yep.
It's the only explanation.
YouTube's coming after us.
Now we're live.
Now we're live.
What's going on,
Take
people?
two.
Alright, let me get the chat open here, see who we got.
See who we got chatting.
What's up, Dave? Yeah, so we went live initially without going live in the waiting room, so I had to redo it, and now we're in the waiting room. So we here.
We are here.
I see Dave. Johnny, also in chat. What's going on, guys? We got a lot to talk about
We've
today.
got a few things to talk about, and just in case for people who haven't heard us before, that's Jeremy. He's the the man, the myth, the legend himself. I'm Delaney. I'm the intersectional queer person of color representation, but not really. We're not even gonna put those labels on us, or on me at least. So.
What's up, Dari, Voyager? We got Michigan, Iowa, everyone across the country in the house. I appreciate you guys tuning in the East Coast and the Midwest, because
Hell
I
yeah.
know we're on the West Coast. So this is it's a little bit later for you guys.
Yep.
But you know what? We have to create a product that's so in demand that you will stay up to watch the weekly
And
narrative.
plus, it's Saturday night, and I mean, in California, at least everything's closed, so it's
Exactly.
not like anybody's going anywhere.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Saturday night. Hope you guys
Saturday
got a drink.
night.
Settle in. We got
Saturday night.
some interesting discussions ahead of us.
Can we open up that a little bit more so I can see? Hold on, folks, so I can see the chat. See what y'all are up to. Hi, how are you? Welcome. There we go.
Colorado, in the
Colorado.
house. Samantha.
What's up, Samantha? Girl power.
All right. So how many disclaimers do we have on our video today? Only two.
Only
okay.
two.
COVID, because I have COVID in the title. Because we are going to talk about yet another fascinating, interesting fact about COVID that maybe you don't know, maybe the viewers don't know.
Yeah, let's do
A
it.
question that I raised a few weeks back when I had my COVID question stream, which was one of my great solo streams when you weren't here, and I had the COVID. The question was, why haven't we put any effort into finding out where this came from? This article will address that. The WHO has been trying to get in to look at it, and they have not been allowed to enter China.
Yeah, I wonder why.
So we're going to look at that. It's been a year, by the way. It's been a year.
It's been a year and we
still
still
don't
don't know.
So we'll look at that. We're also going to look at the big topic of the day, which is the creation of parallel societies.
How did we do that?
You guys, well, we didn't do it. It's up until now, it hasn't been done on our terms. That's kind of
It's
the whole
true,
point.
It just kind of happened.
That's the whole point of us talking about it, is because we want to wake people up and to the realization that you need to create your own parallel society on your own terms or join one,
Yeah,
because it's happening regardless of your voluntary participation.
it's true.
And we're going to go over several pieces of information to hint at that, as if you needed any more information. I mean, we're talking about yesterday, the president of the United States was banned off of Twitter and
Yeah.
every other platform on the planet.
Ooh, and
In a
then
coordinated effort.
Aren't they talking about yanking Parler from like Google App Store
Oh,
and
we'll
stuff
get
like
into
that?
it.
And
We'll
like
get
all
into
of
it.
these like free speech applications are being yanked. So
We'll get into that.
oh, and Dari says, Are you going to touch in the S show in Washington this week? I mean, maybe a little bit, but
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
we'll see. Just give our. I mean, I'm willing to give my 2 cents in on it, but we got a lot of other things to talk about.
And it's
today.
been a long time since I've been able to taste, and that gin is delicious.
Delicious.
Tanqueray.
He's got that Tanqueray.
And what else is in the title here? I already forgot. The Reichstag Fire. That's right, the Neo Reichstag Fire. See, that's what we're going to talk about, Dari. The Neo Reichstag Fire. If you guys don't know, brief history lesson. We'll give that to you on how Nazi Germany started and what some parallels might be to what we're seeing today.
Okay.
That'll be
I mean,
fun.
Reichstag, I pretty much assumed it was German, so Cool. I'm down.
It's very, very Reichstag, very
that's-
German word.
That's my, my people. Apparently, I did my ancestry, and I have a lot of German in me.
You gave away your DNA.
I did, yeah. There's probably a clone out there of me already.
I've also done it. I'm 100% European, by the way.
Yes, he is.
100%. She's seen the data.
Yeah, he really showed me. It said 100%, and I was like, wow. Mine's like 82% European, but
And well, the interesting thing about that is everyone that I talk to that I tell that I've done that, they're like, "Oh, you gave him your DNA."
yeah, hell yeah. Why would I not want a clone of me?
I'm like, all right, here we go. Now I understand it sounds bad on the surface to give your DNA to somebody, but just walk me through this now. What are they gonna do with that DNA?
Gonna grow another one of you.
Maybe somebody in the chat has a good answer.
That's the conspiracy theorist side of me. That's what the conspiracy theorists say about Ancestry and 23andMe and all of these genetic and ancestral sites and stuff. Is they say they're gonna clone you, or they already have.
That's a win-win.
Yeah, that's what I say too. I'm like, why would you not want to clone me? Look at me. I look this dang good. Why would I not want another me out there?
It doesn't matter what reason they have. Like, oh, they're gonna find out what your DNA is. They're gonna make a specifically modified disease just for you.
Oh, okay,
or something
good.
like that. At the end of the day, none of it
Good
matters.
luck.
If they're gonna go through the effort to do that or to want to create a clone of me, they're gonna get my DNA anyway. Have you ever donated blood? Have you ever had a blood test in a medical facility? Have you ever sipped on a cup and threw it in the trash? Guess what? The FBI guy is waiting behind you.
Yeah, to come
He's
pick it
gonna
up.
take the cup out of the garbage. He's gonna get the saliva off the cup. So don't give me this. Oh, you gave your DNA away.
Johnny says, create a version of you that loves BLM.
Okay, now I'm against that. That's too far.
Okay, if that's what they're doing, then absolutely not. But if it's like the island scenario where there's like clones of me to harvest organs and stuff, why not? Like go, or if there's just another one of me, like let's do it.
You know what?
I'm
If they're gonna clone me in China and then have a cloned version of me on standby with organs ready to go on my behalf if I ever need one,
I'm down for that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they did on the movie The Island. Have you ever watched that movie?
oh yeah, no, good,
That's
great
what
movie.
I love that movie, man. Not only is Scarlett Johansson kind of hot in it, but it was
So,
a pretty cool idea.
It was worth finding out that I'm 100% European.
Yes, it is. It's good to know that, Jeremy.
All right, let's jump right into it. Our first story of the day. Before we get to the juicy stuff, we're gonna warm you up with a little stuff. COVID updates. I know no one's really been talking about COVID for the last few days, but I thought this story was very important,
Yeah,
and it
it's
relates directly to the questions that I had previously.
And it's from BBC, so you know it's true.
Yeah, BBC, 100% accurate,
100%
credible.
credible. They've never gotten anything wrong.
COVID, WHO team investigating virus origins denied entry into China from 3 days ago. So this is fresh, hot off the press. Ladies and gentlemen, a year after this started, the WHO still can't get in to investigate the origin of the virus.
Ooh, okay.
You would think, if you watch a movie like Contagion, which is, I think it's on Amazon Prime, I just watched that one recently, pretty good. One of the first things that they do, one of the most important things that they do is try to figure out the whole premise of the movie when you have a mass outbreak like this is to find out patient zero and find out where it came from and
Yes.
why. Same thing with Ebola. When Ebola was in the news and that was spreading, what was all the news about? The hunt for patient zero,
Yeah.
patient zero, patient. You could probably find screenshots of the news chyrons, which is patient zero in all
Yeah.
caps. You know what I mean? Because that was the whole emphasis. But oddly enough, throw this on the list of questions. Nobody's interested in trying to figure out what the origin of COVID was, despite it being the biggest, pandemic of our
Yeah,
time.
it's the biggest pandemic of our time. It's killed, 400,000 people in the United States alone now, I guess.
Well, Donald Trump killed him.
Yeah, Donald
himself.
Trump killed him by himself.
with his snotty hands.
Yeah, with his tiny little hands.
But you would think that'd be something that they would want to know.
Yeah, but, it's China, so...
A World Health Organization team, due to investigate the origins of COVID-19 in the city of Wuhan, has been denied entry to China.
Oh, okay.
2 members that were already en route with the WHO saying the problem was a lack of visa clearances. Oh, okay, yeah. However, China has challenged this, saying the details of the visit, including dates, were still being arranged. The long-awaited probe,
Yeah, long awaited.
was agreed upon by Beijing after many months of negotiations with the WHO. That sentence right there brings up a lot of questions in my head.
Yeah.
First of all, I thought the WHO was owned by China for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, they can probably contribute a lot of money to it because they are one of the biggest populaces in the world. So
Yeah, because I know, there was a lot of talk on the right side of the spectrum when this whole thing was happening about how China is controlling WHO messaging. So it was like, well, okay, if
That's
the
where all
WHO is in the pocket of China, then why is China not allowing the WHO in? Why wouldn't they just let them in and then give them a fake story or plant
Yeah.
evidence and then, just muck up the whole thing? This, like I said, it brings up questions in my head.
it does. I mean, it brings up questions for me too. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think just China just has and always will be super secretive and doesn't really let people outside sources investigate.
Dari says that they need ample time to hide the evidence.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like
A year though.
Yeah, dude. Like they had to kill think about all of the people that actually died from COVID. They need time to
So you're saying they got like mountains of bodies that they got to hide and
I
stuff?
think so. They have
Well, they're not going there for that. They're going there to find the origin.
well, good luck when there's no body. There's no bodies of it.
Well, yeah, I don't even know how that would go. But I imagine, if the story that we're sold is true, they're going to go to a wet market. They're going to look around. They're going to see, some half dead. What's that little armadillo guy? The pangolins. They're going to see
Yeah.
the pangolins on the table because that was the argument.
And
It was
also
either a
the-
pangolin or a bat.
And also the dead human babies next to it too.
Yeah, some of those. And then they're going to test them, or I don't know what they're going to do.
I
But,
know, exactly. Like after a year you'd think that there'd be no evidence left behind.
and they're only sending 10 people.
Okay, how does it really take over a year to get 10 people into the country of China?
Apparently.
Like that is
For the most urgent pandemic of all time.
Yeah, like this is stupid. Like
Add this to the list of the inconsistencies that indicate that this isn't what we're being sold that it is. We talked about the list already as a clip up on my channel, how nobody's talking about how to prevent it, nobody's talking about how to treat it, nobody's trying to build ICU capacity, nobody's trying to increase the hospital treatment rates. Add this to that list.
nobody, like they're not even allowing people in to investigate.
The list of things that we would be doing if this was what they told us
Samantha
it was.
says the evidence is already gone, and I tend
Exactly.
to agree. Like they've cleaned up the evidence, they've gotten rid of all the dead bodies that possibly had the original contagion. Like they just piled. It's just like Nazi Germany. They just piled them all into a a hole and then just buried them, or
Yeah.
just like set them on fire and then buried them. So there's no evidence. They're gonna, and then since there's no evidence, the WHO is gonna go in and go, oh well, there's no evidence that China was connected to this, so China's like doesn't have any accountability.
That's why I'm confused, because wouldn't they just do a setup like that where they say, oh yeah, come on in WHO, and then they give them like the North Korea guided tour version of what actually happened, where they're hiding all this shady stuff in the back behind the plastic fruits and vegetables, and then the WHO people come out and they're like, oh yep, nothing to see here. I guess we didn't.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. China's also been known to just from my understanding, like because they supposedly own the WHO. I think it's all just a farce. It's just a way to save face, It's
The timing makes absolutely no sense.
yeah.
If I'm to be sold that this is as urgent and as big of a deal as it was always meant to be, then this makes absolutely no sense that it's taken this long for us to even start investigating the origin. Please, spare me.
Yeah.
Steve says they're making Soylent Green. Maybe. Got to get that protein from somewhere.
Right?
Hey, we got Honk Hogan in the chat. I love
Honk
that
honk.
name. What an awesome name. That's great.
All of our viewers have the best names, and
We get
they're
a
all
lot of-
good looking and very, 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 very intelligent. So
They shut down travel domestically, but not international out of Wuhan. Yeah. Coincidence, huh? Another one of those things. Oh, hold on. I got to plug
hold
my
on,
laptop
folks. Hold on, pause. Then Dari says the whole thing was economically driven. It was payback or a way to bolster their capabilities. I mean, China is just, I don't know. Oh, and Derek says it's a distraction. They already know everything to know about the virus. This gives them time to keep everyone locked up. Yeah, that too. They're smart. Like when we think that we know what their game is, they come up and just flip the cards on us and do something different. So
4D chess.
yeah, they are like the experts at that, really.
It's a distraction. Yeah. Well, this gives it.
They were like Derek's right. He says they already know what's up with the virus, but they don't want to be held accountable and don't want to be in charge of like all the people that have died.
I just off of what you said, it just popped into my head. Listen to this. Fresh theory, hot off the brain.
It's a
neurons
hot take Saturday.
just was fabricated in the neurons right
Okay.
now. They had to delay the investigation until Trump was out of office.
Ooh.
That's good, right? That's pretty good.
I mean, yeah.
Because what is Biden going to do? Biden's not going to go hard on China.
No.
When the
He's taking money from them too.
The WHO
so.
comes back, or whoever it is that investigates it, they're going to be like, oh, I don't know. And then Biden's going to be like, oh, it's clear. China had nothing to do with this.
Yeah, just because the WHO says so.
Right? There you go.
Yeah.
Until we get more information, that's the theory that I'm going to run with.
Yeah, well, it's sad. Like all of these people that have died and all the countries that have been infected and our country that's been infected with the mind virus, not even the coronavirus, but this mind virus that's going around.
That's the more deadly
That's
one.
the more deadly one. Coronavirus is nothing. All the people, I know tons of people that have gotten coronavirus and they've gotten over it in 2 days. It's the mind virus that's lingered on after all of this is what I'm more worried about.
We'll talk about the mind virus in the next segment when we talk about parallel societies. The WHO, continuing on from BBC, the WHO has been working to send a 10-person team of international experts to China for months with the aim of probing the animal origin of the pandemic and exactly how the virus first crossed over to humans. Again, you'd think that'd be a little more of a pressing issue. Last month, it was announced that the investigation would begin in January 2021, a year after this thing started. The 2 members of the international team that had already departed for China had set off early on Tuesday, said the WHO. According to Reuters news agency, WHO emergency chief Mike Ryan said 1 had turned back and 1 was in a third country. COVID-19 was first detected in Chinese city of Wuhan in central Hubei province in late 2019. So over a year later.
It's been over a year because I remember them talking about coronavirus back in like November and it was in China. And I remember them seeing videos and clips of like people in hazmat suits like rounding people up and getting them out of their houses and like sterilizing their houses and then letting them go back in. So like China really, they did a good job cleaning up their mess. They really did in their own country.
Well, even BBC admits in this article, the origins of the virus remain deeply contested. Some experts now believe the market may not have been the origin and that it was instead only amplified there.
Well, there's also
There you go.
there's also a lab there where they had coronavirus.
Yeah, weird they don't mention the lab in that article.
Yeah, there's not going to mention that lab
But hey, there was also a lab that was doing coronavirus research right there.
yeah, right
there.
right near where that wet market is.
Here's the wet market. Here's the lab.
They're not that far from each other, and also too, a lot of funding, a lot of prominent leftist people sent money to that lab specifically in American politics.
I don't know if we can talk about that one.
I mean, we'll probably get banned off.
Somebody was mentioning that last time, how Fauci was involved with the gain-of-function research, and he was like, talk about the research.
And it's like, oh, well, there's only so much that we can talk about or else we'll get banned, just like Trump did.
What's up, Osis? We
What's
got
up,
Osis
Commander
in chat.
Osis?
MA in chat.
Hey, MA. Little moderator. Looks like you're doing it.
Oh,
solo
okay, so
tonight,
we
MA.
got some responses to my, we got some responses to my theory here.
Okay.
Let's read through these. So Osis says they didn't need Trump gone. All the deep state people that worked for him stabbed him in the back anyway.
Yeah, kind of. A lot of them did. A lot of them that said that
I don't know, man. Trump's thing lately has been decoupling from China.
Yeah.
And he wanted to hold them accountable. He's been talking about that repeatedly, holding China accountable
Yeah.
for the virus. So now we got a guy in office who is the exact opposite. He doesn't want to hold anybody accountable, especially not China.
Yeah, why would he? Because China's filling his pockets.
Steve says Biden doesn't remember China.
No, of course not. He doesn't remember like his son going to China either and taking millions of dollars in bribes from them. Yeah, why would he remember any of that? Because if you don't remember something, it didn't happen. And it's also like out of sight, out of mind. Like if I don't look like I have cancer, then I don't have cancer. So
Well.
same thing with Biden and China.
Yeah, it's true.
If I don't think I went to China, and I don't think I have ties to China, then I don't.
Johnny said he had corona for 3 days, but he feels fine now. Glad to hear that, buddy. Welcome to the immunity club.
Yeah, I was gonna say we think Jeremy got Rona from our Reno trip because we were going in and out of all the casinos trying to find him a specific slot machine to play, and he didn't play on I played on far more slot machines than he did, and I did not get the Rona. So you just picked wrong, buddy.
I was doing the video. I was out talking to the mutants.
That is
and,
true.
And like handing them the clipboard
You
and handing
did
the
do
pen and
that.
stuff.
You
I
got
literally,
people to sign the
I literally put
Declaration of Dependence.
in the video when I got people to sign the Declaration of Dependence, which is as bad as it sounds. If you guys haven't seen the video, go check it out. It's hilarious. The lady coughs, and then I hand her the pen, and then I take the pen back. In hindsight, not the brightest moment, but whatever. I don't care.
You know what's the best?
You're gonna get it anyway.
And
It's just a
during
matter of time.
when we were filming that, we were like, gotta wear masks and we gotta wear gloves and we gotta like have a safety vest or something on, and we had all of that shit on, and he still got Rona.
Guys, the corona got through my safety vest.
Yeah, he have a-
got through my high vis safety vest.
Yeah, he got through his safety
Explain
vest.
that one.
Yeah, so clearly masks don't work. He even had gloves on. We bought like dishwashing gloves, like high latex ones, and you know that no germs should be going through that, but he still got the Rona.
All right. Here you go. We got a new face in chat. C Many Crows says Fauci didn't just fund the research; he helped hatch a plan to release it on. Oh my god!
Oh my god! Don't say that. You're gonna get us banned.
I don't know. Oh yeah. Well, that's a theory that we'll explore in the future. Athenians late. Don't be late next time.
Yeah, next time, or I'm gonna get you.
If you didn't get a notification, that's acceptable. But otherwise,
It's okay. I don't hate you. I could never hate you.
if you give it a like, then you'll be forgiven. Everybody
Yeah.
should give it a like. I want to see at least 50% engagement on the likes or dislikes. You can dislike as well. That's fine. Hit the dislike if you feel inclined.
Yep.
But let's get that engagement up, guys. Come on.
Yeah, like get them thumbs up or thumbs down. Like
We are in the trenches of the social media war. We're talking about this kind of stuff, putting our lives on the line, talking about this on YouTube. And the least you can do is give me a like.
Yeah, very.
If you want to go even further, you can go to thelocals.com.
Yep. Look
'Cause
at we got
We're not going to get banned off of that.
got a nice little banner.
Not going to get banned off the locals.
Yeah. No. It's stalking horses in the chat. Look it, we got our second moderator up. Hell yeah.
It's all right, as long as he showed up.
And then Matt.
He was talking smack to me for being late last time.
I
Now he's
know.
late.
Stalking horse. You were the one that chastised us last time for being late, and look at you showing up late. Shame, shame. Matt Livingston says, "Hi, guy and gal. Where can we find you on alt tech in case you eventually get banned?" Yeah, locals.com. And also, we are streaming right now on YouTube, DLive, and Periscope.
YouTube, DLive, and Periscope. So we are also on DLive, but Locals is like community infrastructure. So we can talk to each other. We can share posts. We're gonna have the live streams on there. We'll have exclusive content.
Yeah,
stuff
we're
like
gonna
that.
have
So
exclusive content specifically
that's
on the locals.
where you guys should go.
We want to do like a after-hour stream after this stream where we can dive into a little bit more, a little bit more. I don't even know, like I don't even want to say sensitive because it's not sensitive stuff, but just a little bit more, just interesting things.
A wider scope of topics that we can talk about. Guys, the theme of the night is that parallel societies are forming, whether you voluntarily participate or not, okay? And we've all seen that with what has happened in the last day in response to the Washington, D.C. stuff. Trump got banned off of Twitter. People are getting mass purged off of social media for having the wrong ideas and for no good reason. So, in an effort to decentralize, follow us on locals.com, but also, as a segue into our next segment, parallel societies.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, Zerun with a new username, Naked Guy. I like that.
A naked guy.
So I haven't gotten banned off of Twitter yet, surprisingly. But let's talk about some of the narratives flying around Twitter right now. Zoom. Okay, zooming does not work.
Sorry, folks. Hold on. Pause.
I got it. I'm a tech wizard.
I was gonna say
See?
techno god here. Here he is.
Just open in a new tab. Easy. Okay, guys. So in response to Trump being banned off of Twitter yesterday and every other social media platform, we've seen kind of like a rallying around the idea of taking sides, preparing for, rebellion, not rebellion, but revenge. Revenge is the word I was looking for. It's revenge time, people.
is.
It's the revenge season. To revenge on the Republicans and the conservatives for all of these years of suppressive, oppressive,
Fascist.
fascism, authoritarianism that they've had to deal with for the last 4 years. they're pissed and they're coming for you.
Hell yeah.
Starting with the social media companies, they've already been.
They're going to take our guns.
Hell yeah, we're gonna take your AR-15s.
Yeah, they're going to take our guns. Channeling my inner Beto.
Beta.
Beta Beto.
So, okay, so Twitter's banned thousands and thousands of people.
Oh, yeah. Even the president.
Mostly conservative leaning. And then in response to that, Parler and Gab, who are the alternative platforms to Twitter, have seen massive, explosive amounts of growth as people are finally waking up to the idea that they need to decentralize. I knew it all along.
Yeah.
I've talked about this before. You have to decentralize. I've been talking about how bad it is that everyone's on social media for years. This isn't a new thing for me. But it takes the banning of the president and mass purging of users for people to finally wake up and start to realize that, oh, yeah, maybe we shouldn't, maybe I don't have to use this platform.
Yeah.
Maybe I could actually create an account on another platform and try to use that. So in response to that, because big tech knows this is exactly what's going to happen, people are going to be mass exodus into Parler, Gab, all these other sites, like people mentioned in chat, all tech. Guess what has been the response from big tech to that?
Banning those platforms.
Banning those platforms. So we've seen Apple and Google Play, the two main phone manufacturers, removing Parler from their app stores, which
Unless they adhere to their rules.
Which is never doable.
Yeah.
Because you have to. That basically just means censor everyone that we disagree with.
Yeah, censor everyone that we disagree with and we deem censorable. And that's not like that's not the that's yeah. I'm trying to get away from that.
But it relies on the fact that people use apps on the phone to access these platforms. You can still just go to parler.com.
Yeah, on your computer.
On a computer or on your phone. Just go to parler.com.
type in
You're not on the application interface necessarily,
but
but
the application makes it a lot easier.
Yes, it does. But, this is just one of those situations where we have a new condition in the environment that these companies are now going to have to adapt to. Okay, so I can't rely on having my phone on the app store in an approved manner by Apple that I can just click once and then download it very easily. There's maybe another hoop or two that I have to jump through to get to that platform.
Yeah.
But the way these people are crying about losing access to Twitter and having Trump banned and everything like that, you would think they would go through the minute increase in effort to do that. Just create an account on Parler.
Yeah.
Go to the site instead of opening the app on your phone.
Yeah.
Big deal. Who cares?
Yeah, or just use it go get a computer or a laptop and do it on your computer. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I do for some of my stuff.
Oh, but I can't access exactly what I want from the App Store.
Yeah, it's not
I can't click on it
yeah.
once and then be there in half a second. Censorship.
Castonius Prime. I don't think I've ever
Sick
seen
name.
that name. Said, we can't start a new platform. I mean, we can, but unfortunately, the overlords of the overlords
This guy's right.
are,
That's not what I'm saying, though.
yeah,
No, you're right. We can't start a new platform.
we really can't without some kind of.
Oh, and Stalking Horse says he wants the alternative app store for Android. Well, Android packages you can just download. There's no fascism on the Android platform. You could download an install package literally from anywhere and just install it, which is another reason why Androids are superior.
I know,
But
you've given me the lecture.
The argument that I'm not making is that, oh, you just make your alternative platform. I'm not one of those guys that's like, oh, do you get banned off of Twitter? Just make another platform. Because guess what's going to happen? And we'll do some future predictions right here. You can cut these companies off at any point along the line.
Yeah.
If you are Google, that's just Google and Apple App Store. That's the top thin layer
Yeah.
that's right on the top. That's the first thing that's going to go. And then what's going to go next? So you have a site. Think about it. You have a site hosted on the internet that hosts this content. It's been removed from the App Store. They can still operate, but what's going to go next? The web hosting.
I was gonna say I don't know. I'm not a tech person.
I know. I wasn't expecting you to
I was gonna
answer
say
that shit.
actual website.
I just wanted to see you sweat.
Yeah, I was like the actual website, but I don't know the technical name for that because
So-
I'm not very smart.
That was step one, banning off of Apple iStore, whatever the hell it's called. I don't use it, so I don't care. And then the Android Google Play Store. That was step one. Step two is going to the actual web hosting providers,
And then just
which in this case I think is actually for Parler. I think it's Amazon, so they're screwed.
yeah.
And if you wanted to start your own web service or application, that's what you would do. You go to a hosting platform like Amazon Web Services or GoDaddy, whoever it was. It's only a matter of time before the retards and the mutants start banging on the walls of Amazon
The mutants.
and banging on the walls of GoDaddy saying, hey, you host this Nazi content. BuzzFeed said they're bad. Why are you hosting them?
Right?
I don't know why I had a southern accent when I did that, but
I
you know, it's
mean,
just,
that's kind of what they sound like most of the time.
well, they sound stupid. That's, I guess
yeah.
that's my go-to for stupid.
That
No
is-
offense to any southerners here,
Yeah, no offense to any,
but
rednecks.
that's what's going to happen. And then even beyond that, you can go to the ISP, the internet service provider, like Xfinity, and say, hey, Xfinity, why are you providing services to this Nazi website?
So they can just cut off services to people, period. Like, figure out a way to do it.
So what we're in right now,
That's crazy.
we're in a stage where, like I said, people are finally waking up to the idea that you cannot fight a one-to-one mirror war with these people.
Yeah.
You can't fight the same tactics. Like, oh no, I want to be on social media too. That's not how it's gonna go. Oh no,
Yeah.
I want fair elections too. No,
No, that's not gonna how. That's not how it's working
the
now.
system in general that you're used to. The whole paradigm
Has been
of
altered.
standard life is
Is
now
gone.
it's gone.
Yeah. Or it's going. It's like halfway out the door.
You can continue to waste your time fighting to correct the system that is broken but also works against your interests. You can try to fight to restore the media, which works against your interests. You could try to fight to restore Twitter, social media, which works against your interests. But you're basically what you're doing is the equivalent of those like Revolutionary War type battles where they're just lining up in the middle of the field just in a straight line
Yeah.
and taking turns shooting at each other. But they have way more people than you and they have cannons and stuff.
Yeah.
We need to get into the stage of guerrilla warfare now.
We need to be like the Scots and just like attack them in the fog.
Exactly. Guerrilla warfare, people. Okay.
I've been watching Outlander, so I've been learning a lot about Scottish history. And man, the Scots, when they fought the Brits, dude, they had like way less people, but there were a few battles where they got their licks in. So, like, I'm all about that guerrilla warfare. We just need to.
We need to.
Well, and it's just a different type of guerrilla warfare that we're facing now. It's like a digital and just media warfare right now. It's weird.
I don't know who People for Bernie is on Twitter, but what you guys are looking at right now on the screen is a tweet from People for Bernie, which says, "You're either Antifa or pro-fascism. There is no middle ground."
Oh, okay.
The question today, in all caps, isn't which side you were on. The question has already been answered.
Oh.
We know who sided with fascism. Don't let them escape it.
Oh, okay. That's not threatening at all. That's not threatening whatsoever. Don't let them escape it.
So this is the premise that the parallel societies are going to be formed upon.
This is a.
You're the Nazi because you're not an anti-fascist. You haven't displayed your anti-fascism in a prominent enough manner. That means you're a pro-fascist.
You know what this reminds me of? All these lists of people who were pro-fascists. It reminds me so strongly of like something that happened in, Europe, last century. That's so weird. When they had lists of people that didn't agree with the status quo. Well, what happened to those ones?
And almost like a nod from the simulation itself, she actually uses the word society in this when I talk about parallel societies. This is another tweet from Jennifer Rubin, I believe. And blue check mark, verified on Twitter. This got 15,000 retweets. It says, any Republican now promoting rejection of an election or calling to not follow the will of the voters or making baseless allegations of fraud should never serve in office, join a corporate board, find a faculty position, or be accepted into polite, quote-unquote, society. We have a list.
Oh, that's so threatening. Oh, they have a list. I hope I'm on that list.
I don't really care about the list, but the point is, even they admit it.
Yeah.
Parallel societies are coming, whether you voluntarily participate or not, people.
Thank you to everybody who voted for Biden. This is exactly what we signed up for.
This is the criteria by which they're banning everybody from social media. So everyone who talked about, questioning the election results, talked about, any of that kind of stuff, they're the ones who've been targeted. So it goes back to the question of, well, what do you do? We're in a state where we have tricked ourselves as a society by thinking beyond the sale.
Yeah, a
The
little bit.
sale is that we deserve or we should use mass social media communication tools.
Yeah. I mean,
People think that they are they're entitled to access to these mass communication tools.
yeah, they do think they're entitled to it.
So
We
when
don't need it.
that's the argument that people are making on Twitter now after seeing everyone get banned. They're like, "We're Section 230, this is censorship, all this kind of stuff."
No, they have the right to ban you or censor you, but
That's the
and you
cold
have the-
hard truth.
and you have the right to not be a part of that platform and get rid of all your social medias and start calling people the normal way.
I'll try to do a lisp for the stupid voice instead of a southern voice.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I saw that on MA's.
I'm probably gonna move to the south soon, so I probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah, you don't want to make fun of the people that you're going to be around.
So again, guys, you want to fight in on their terms, then what you would continue to do is argue for your access to an uncensored social media economy, a social media universe where I can go on Facebook and I'm doing a different voice.
I can go on Facebook.
I can go on Facebook and talk about QAnon all I want, and I don't want to get banned.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. That's you can continue to do that, but you're gonna lose.
Yeah, you're in a losing battle.
You can continue to do the whole, "Oh, come on, Patriots, let's go! Come on, Patriots, storm the Capitol. We're gonna take it back," but you're gonna lose. And not only that, but you're gonna continue to damage your own side, as we've seen here. That event was already used as the impetus for this action that you're seeing right now. So you can continue to do your "let's fight back." Actually, Ken was probably at that protest. Remember Ken?
Oh yeah,
Ken was like, "We gotta fight
He's
back."
probably one of the people that led the charge and going into the Capitol. He was one of the ones taking all the pictures.
Good
of
job,
it.
Ken.
Yeah, good job, Ken.
You did it, buddy. You fought
yeah,
back.
You fought back against tyranny. Good for you.
You stole some toilet paper from the Capitol building bathrooms, and you
And,
really showed them.
I've been so I was trying to get some articles for us to talk about on the stream, and literally all the articles in the news have been, police have identified so and so person that stole such and such thing from the Capitol siege, and I was like, is this really newsworthy? I don't why are we talking about this idiot that stole the podium? Like, why are you, or stole a lamp from Nancy Pelosi's office? They're like we found the guy that took a picture in Nancy Pelosi's desk. Like, is this really newsworthy, y'all? Like,
Well, if it wasn't being used as their boogeyman, it would actually be hilarious. Seen the guy with the hat with the horns on
oh
it?
yeah,
In there? That's
Buffalo.
funny.
I mean, apparently, according to a lot of people that I've talked to, that guy apparently is an Antifa infiltrator. But I don't.
They're all Antifa
I was gonna say,
infiltrators.
yeah, they're all
Apparently.
all the ones that stormed the castle are Antifa infiltrators.
Yeah.
Not the
I don't
ones that
think
were
so.
like outside cheering and chanting. And
I don't think they can get away with that one on this.
Yeah, it's a hard sell for a lot of people. That's like
Oh my God, it's Antifa.
Are there
Infiltrated us.
were there people who were Antifa
Guy
that did
sitting
it?
in Nancy's office. Yeah, he got charged, I think, already.
Yeah, were there Antifa infiltrators? Yeah, I think there were probably a few, but
It's a moot point. See,
it is a moot point.
This is the trap.
It is a moot point. That's I mean, but my thing is like, and if there were Antifa infiltrators that did invade the Capitol, what about all those patriots that followed behind? Like, y'all should have known better and been like,
Come on,
no.
Patriots.
I mean, y'all should have known better. Like, I will. That's the one criticism I will give. It's
Get
like,
them, Patriots.
yeah, it's
Now, see, this whole conversation, this is what when you're stuck in the old order thinking, like the old way, when you're still lined up facing each other with the muskets, that's what you would talk about is,
Oh, those Antifa infiltrators. They weren't really that guy had a communist signal on his hand. He wasn't actually a patriot.
right.
that's the conversation that the people who aren't really
Paying
advanced,
attention, they don't care.
they're so stuck in that old game. Guys, it's time for guerrilla warfare.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, don't be arguing about trying to get back onto social media. That's over.
Yeah.
You have
Just
to
move on.
focus 100% of your energy on creating or joining your own parallel societies.
Find one that suits you best and join
And,
it. And hold on to it.
That's at every level. We already talked about last week about how payment processors, banks, are denying access to people.
Oh yeah.
We're talking about not being able to do financial transactions, not being able to have access to social media, not being able to go to public places, not being able to get served a cake because nobody's going to bake a cake for a Capitol protester.
Oh no.
that's the eternal question. Should a baker bake a cake for a Capitol protester? Get back on the gay cake people. Ask them that one.
I mean, I'm sure the gay cake people would probably bake a cake for a Capitol protester.
Blue checkmark verified people on Twitter are talking about how they have lists and they're not going to be allowed into polite society. What does polite society
Yeah,
mean?
what is polite society?
Maybe I don't want to be. I already know that I don't want to be in polite society. I'm already taking active steps to decentralize myself from the let's call it the old society. We got to give it a negative connotation to incentivize people to want to get away from it. We'll start with old society. We'll develop the idea from there.
The normal folk who are just embedded in this garbage.
Dude should have upper decked her desk. Yes.
Dari asked the Viking dude was QAnon. Well, he was.
What does that even mean? QAnon.
He was supposedly.
Oh, he was the QAnon guy.
Well, he was supposedly like before all the siege happened. He was like saying, "Yeah, QAnon brought me here." Blah blah blah.
You know what? Actually, I got to give a shout out to Nuance Bro because he went to that and he interviewed everyone and he interviewed the horn guy. So maybe he's got some information in there.
Maybe. But like I said, I've heard like very conflicting stories. So to me, it's like that guy he probably was just there just because he wanted to be there, and he was like, I'm freaking tired of this crap. And like me and a friend of mine, we agreed. Like we were I'm not glad that the siege happened and the storming of the Capitol happened.
Come on, Patriots.
But I'm like not
the Capitol.
surprised that it didn't happen sooner. That's my thing. It's like I'm surprised it happened this late in the game. Like
Derek says Society of Tall People. I'm for that.
I'm for that too because I'm
Personally, I'm going to be starting. I want to have my own city,
tall. Of tall folk.
but I got to start with a village. So I'm
Yeah.
going to start there. I'm going to buy some land. I'm going to start a village. And
Have
I'm
a
dead
few-
serious, by the way.
Have a few wives.
Yep. Got to have a bunch of kids.
Big
Yeah.
ol' harem of kids. Hell yeah.
Yeah, Nuance Bro's video got taken down. It said that he took it down, but I figured it got taken down by YouTube, and they
Maybe.
just said that he took it down because we don't want everyone to know that the horn guy was just some guy having fun.
Yeah, I mean, he probably
not
was
a
just a guy
murderous-
having fun. At the end of the day, I don't know him personally, and I wasn't there to see what happened myself, so I can't give any perspective. But I've seen a lot of conservative people that I follow on the social media platforms. They were like taking pictures with him and stuff before all that stuff happened. So I don't know. It's hard.
Osa says defund the police died in a real hurry on January 6th.
Yeah. Oh my God, all the people that were. They were like all the liberals that I follow. They're like, I'm disgusted with the police department and how they treated the Trump supporters at the Capitol. I'm like, really?
I've seen mixed messages on that, but I don't care enough really to...
I mean, most of the people I know are like, I'm disgusted.
Yes, Sir Bader, we are all about to get taken down. That's the point, man.
Hell yeah,
But
take us down.
Here's the question. Let me paint a hypothetical picture. We all know that we're all about to get taken down.
Yeah,
Okay, we all know that.
they're
And
coming
then-
after you.
So this is piggybacking off the question of the social media question. What do you do? They're going to take you down. You can make a new platform. They're going to take it down anyway via the ISP, via the server hosting
Yeah.
provider. It doesn't matter.
They're gonna figure out a way.
Tell me how much, and I hate to keep using this as a comparison, but it's the only really good one out there that everyone will recognize. How much do you think the Amish people care that Twitter is going Nazi on everyone?
Oh, they don't care because they don't have Twitter.
They don't have it. They don't care.
They don't give a crap.
How stifled do you think the Amish's communication abilities are if they get removed from everything on the internet?
Oh, well, they don't care because they don't even have telephones.
There you go.
They don't even I think they have to travel to the nearest town in order to make phone calls.
If you were able to live in a village of people who all had the similar mindset,
it would make life
and-
so much easier and more simple.
and you didn't even, we're gonna have Starlink, we're gonna have internet, but if that got cut off, because the argument is that, oh my God, everyone's talking about in Timcast. Did you guys watch today's Timcast? They were talking about, oh, this is what happens every time before they start a war, before they do genocide, they cut the communications. You can't fight a war without communications. I'm like, dude, how much would communications matter if we were all I could just walk to your house and be like, hey, they're coming.
Hey, they're on their way.
Just get your gun, they're coming.
Get your gun.
Yeah,
Pull
get to the
out your
watchtower.
gun.
Get to the watchtower because they're coming.
Get to the watchtower.
I
Hell
don't
yeah.
care. You have to create a situation.
Get in the tank.
You have to acknowledge that they are going to have complete control over network internet infrastructure because they're going to be able to talk. They're going to cry to Amazon. You can't set up a new site. You have to go guerrilla warfare, people. I know it sounds weird. The paradigm is shifting fast. You got to keep up with it. This is 2021 though. You have to decentralize and form your own communities. Village people, yes.
Young man.
You can be the guy with the Indian hat,
Yeah.
stalking horse. I think you would enjoy that.
I don't even know what I'll be.
But I mean, what other way is there? Because like I said, they are going to remove these social media platforms.
It's
They're gonna
either-
kill Gab. They're
It's
gonna kill
either
Parler.
you start your own stuff and like really decentralize, or you
You could leave the country. That's also another option.
leave the country, or just fully embrace it and be that against the grain, against the status quo,
That's
and
true.
just live your life being against the grain and constantly having
Come
to
on, Patriots.
yeah, constantly having to battle this. And I mean, that's really what the choices are. I mean, at least there's more than one.
You could concede too. You could just
Bend over and become a leftist.
Well, see, here's the thing. I was thinking about this today on my drive home from creating and building my own tiny home on wheels, because I'm actually dead serious about decentralizing. I was thinking about how if they were actually dead set on reforming our entire educational system to just teach kids about how to be gay instead of math, while
God.
China is teaching all their kids calculus in 3rd grade.
Astrophysics.
Yeah.
Sending people like to space, to guard space.
The inevitable result of that, extrapolated over 20 years, for example, is that we lose our superiority, like just like that, like instantly. We're no longer superpower.
Yeah, we're not.
But I don't think that can be the case.
Yeah.
If we were actually adversaries with China and we didn't have some kind of secret back deals with them, where Biden and our president of our country was now, in bed with China, where they can make a deal of like, hey, you know what, we know we're gonna suck. We're gonna completely remove ourselves from this whole picture in 20 years because we're gonna have a bunch of retards running around who don't even know what gender they are.
Yeah, they can't even tell if they got girl parts or boy parts.
Yeah, but they definitely can't fire a gun.
Yeah.
So
They're scared of guns.
We'll do that with you. We'll agree to this deal where you don't invade us.
Until we say so.
No. You just don't invade us, and we will be your.
We'll just bend over and take it.
We'll be your economic, farm.
Yeah,
basically,
we'll
we're
be
just
your-
a
we'll be
giant.
your cash crop. We'll be a
yeah,
cash
We're
cattle.
a cash crop, cash cattle, debt cattle, whatever you want to call it. That's what we are.
Yep.
Because otherwise, in a real world where each country is acting objectively and independently, China would just take us over in 20 years.
They already kind of have. So.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Arian says, native hat Jeremy, they are fake Indians, so never use that tone for those fakes. The real one is me. Hell yeah, Arian.
All right.
Embrace that. Own it, baby. Own it.
We need some Indians in our community.
Oh, yeah, we do. Of
Make
course.
that delicious food.
According to people who don't really know me, and I tell them what I do on the stream, y'all in the chat and the people that watch this are a bunch of chauvinists. So embrace that, folks.
Yeah, Common Core is some dumb shit. Exactly, Bader.
Common Core is garbage.
We talked about last week how schools want to eliminate even the concept of achievement and being higher grades. The grades are gone. Homework is going to be gone. Any kind of competition in school is gone. You just show up, and if you're present, then you get sent on to the next grade. That's not how you get to Mars, people.
Yeah.
I want to go to Mars. Do you want to go to Mars?
I would love to go to Mars.
I want to go to Mars. Do you guys want to go to Mars? That's not how you go to Mars.
You know, it's hilarious, Jeremy. See, when we first started streaming, and we would talk about some science stuff, like just melded in with all of the other discussions, and we had that discussion about there being possible traces of water on the moon. My friend, I told him over dinner that there's water on the moon because he was talking about going to Mars, and I was like, "Why are we going to Mars when we got water on the moon?" And he was like, "There's water on the moon?" I was like, "Yeah, dude, they've found traces of it." He's like, "No freaking way! That's so cool!" And it was, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, they found it under the surface. So
Well,
we're probably gonna go to the moon before we go to Mars. Moon will be our test run."
If, as a civilization, America had more stats in the science spec, we would be interested in and motivated and inspired by that kind of stuff. But instead, we have all of our stats in the morality currently.
Yeah.
And all we care about is, making sure that people can chop their dicks off and stuff like that.
And cut their titties off and all that good stuff.
Man, we were way back.
I know. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Mutilating your body is beautiful now. But
Sorry to be vulgar, but that's what they want to do.
that's really what
That's what they're doing.
It's what they really do. They want to.
Steve with the $5 super chat. Says Biden talking tough about Kim Jong-un. I'm pulling for Kim in that one. Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting to see comparison-wise how Trump handled North Korea versus how Biden will handle North Korea.
God.
I hope that Kim Jong-un just stomps all over him, and
With his tiny little feet.
Do you think Biden is the type of personality that could ever go to the DMZ line between North Korea and South Korea and shake hands with Kim Jong-un?
I don't think he would want to.
No, he wouldn't.
I don't think he would want to. I mean, he had plenty of ample opportunities to do something about North Korea when he was vice president under Obama, but didn't do anything. So
Yeah, nothing
and then
happened.
Trump comes into his first year and tells North Korea, like, we're not going to help you do any of the stuff that you want to do. So stop asking us for money. Stop asking us for parts. Stop trying to force us into shit, or else we're going to fire on
Maybe
you.
he'll sell him nukes.
Yeah, well, I mean, we could do that. Arian says, no, Delaney, stay on Earth. Space is dangerous. You will get cancer quick. So much gamma radiation outside our atmosphere, so no Mars for me. Arian, you just want me to stay on Earth so I can cook for you, right? Right, yeah. You just want me to stay in the
figure it
kitchen.
out.
You just want me to stay in the kitchen where I
We'll
belong.
adapt. We'll adapt.
He wants me to stay in the kitchen where I belong.
Never underestimate a fat North Korean.
Well, of course not, because he's fat for a reason. He's
that guy's got some power.
You gotta know that guy's got some power when the rest of his country is skinny mini like me, and then he's a short, fat little idiot that just stomps his feet and sends like shitty nukes up into the air, and then they fall into the Pacific, and people are like, we need to take this guy seriously.
Dylan says it's because of the public school system why so many young people are socially far left. Dylan,
Ding,
I-
ding,
I-
ding, ding,
I
ding,
can tell you're
ding,
new
ding,
here
ding, ding.
because we talk about how terrible teachers and teachers unions and public education is in the United States every week. That's if I were to say that's public enemy number one for the exact reason that you just listed. So, sir, if you are not subscribed, you need to subscribe because you
Yes.
will enjoy it here.
And you will hear constant compliments about how smart and beautiful you are from me.
Yes,
So
that is a great comment. And if
for
guys,
me at least, I don't know about him.
let's get those likes up, guys. We need at
Yeah.
least 50% engagement. Come on,
Get the likes, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell.
stop being lazy.
Come on, join in.
Kim disrespected Trump because he was tough. That's the only thing that works. Kim respected Trump because
Yeah.
he was tough. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. Trump was like, we're not going to deal with you throwing little hissy fits and then getting your way because you supposedly have nuclear power when you can't even feed your own people, but you can somehow create nuclear missiles. Like, ugh.
See, I knew it was your first live stream, Dylan.
Yeah, we haven't seen you in here before. Welcome, Dylan.
Oh,
We
okay.
appreciate it.
Good.
And
I'm
we-
glad you're subscribed.
Delaney, don't disrespect the supreme leader. Oh, okay. Well, I'm already on a list. I'm already on a list in America, so I'm okay with being on a list in North Korea. I'm totally okay with that. Totally okay with that.
So, parallel societies. Yeah, we went through a few tweets there that shows you what the mindset is of the left right now. This is
Yeah.
where they are right now. They're on a rampage, and they're going to be, to use their language, they're going to be emboldened. They love that word.
Of course they do.
We could sit here and talk about all the hypocrisies about how, they were just let rioting and all this stuff happen the entire year, and they didn't say anything about it. Now when it happens once, no, old world, guys, old world, old society thinking. You need to get into the mindset of guerrilla warfare, changing your expectations from a short-term victory mindset,
Storm the Capitol, Patriots, get them.
Yeah.
type of thing, into long term, because every strategy that the left has and the left is using is based off of their lack of ability to delay gratification, which is
Yeah.
a huge, if you're into psychology, you know about that. It's a big aspect that affects multiple variations of your life's outcomes. That's everything they're based off of, is the ability to their lack of ability to delay gratification. We need to think more long term.
Yeah.
If we're going to win, you need to think long term. So we're not fighting back. That's not what we're doing. We're not retreating. We're not hiding. We're fighting back. Guerrilla warfare.
Yeah, doing it our own way. And
Guerrilla warfare means
hiding in the hedges.
remove your tax dollars from their system. Remove your children
As
from
much
their,
of your tax dollars from the system.
as much as you can. Remove your children from their education factories.
Raise your own damn kids and teach your own damn kids.
Don't use the social media, which is all censored through their own means anyway.
Through their little
They
prism.
own it. And that's going to be a common theme of this stream going forward.
Athenian says that her screen froze for a little while, but she's back. Welcome back, sweetheart. Welcome back.
Everything looks good on my end. I saw her say a comment about how
Yeah,
the stream was freezing, but
Anybody else? Is it freezing for anybody else, or is it just her? Because it might just be you, darling. Like,
we're on a blazing
gonna say,
fast.
'cause
We're pushing 11,000 kilobits per second, people, to push this in high quality for you.
high quality HD, man. He's pushing that
That's how we
speed.
do it. That's how we do it around here.
Let's do it.
So
Appreciate it.
let's see here.
What else are we talking about? On to the next on our list. We've got lists too, folks.
History lesson.
Okay.
This is what we're going to.
I love education on history, and I know there's probably a few history buffs in the chat too. So
This term has been thrown around now for a while. Well, for the last 24 hours on Twitter and social media, because there's been some parallel similarities drawn to the Reichstag Fire. Do you guys remember the Reichstag Fire? You learn about this.
Reichstag.
You learned about this in school.
I didn't learn about the Reichstag. Reichstag.
Oh, look at the full pronunciation of it. Oh, do you think I could pull that off?
I mean, you.
Do you guys think I could pull
You
that
know
off?
more German than I do. You like be singing Rammstein and stuff.
Reichstag Brand. Nope. I can't do that.
you
I tried it and it didn't work.
definitely speak more German than me.
The Reichstag Fire was, I think, the Nazi or the political building was set on fire in Germany, and it was blamed on the communists.
Oh, okay. Of course it was.
And you don't need to know the details about who burned it or why it was burned or anything like that. The point is that event was used to enact new rules because, oh my God, the communists are coming for us. We need to enact some new rules. Does that sound similar to what just recently happened on Twitter?
A little bit.
Because the reasoning, for those who don't know, maybe aren't paying attention to Twitter as much as I am, Twitter specifically stated the reason they were banning Trump from Twitter is because of the risk of future incitement of violence. Not because of what he did.
It's not that he incited any violence,
It's because they were
he
seeing...
might incite violence in the future.
They were looking into the future based off of past events. Well, look at this crazy thing that happened. We need to prevent this from happening again. Ban and impose a bunch of new rules.
Ban the president of the United States. Yeah, that makes total freaking sense.
Let me read the definition of the Reichstag Fire Decree, which I
Okay.
believe was created on the day after that
Okay.
event when the fire started in Germany. It's a little small, but I'm going to try to read this here.
Can you blow it up?
The Reichstag Fire is the common name of the decree. The Reichstag Fire Decree is the common name of the decree of the Reich President for the protection of people and state,
Oh, okay.
issued by German President Paul von Hindenburg on the advice of Chancellor Adolf Hitler on the 28th of February 1933 in immediate response to the Reichstag Fire.
Oh.
The decree nullified many of the key civil liberties of German citizens. With Nazis in powerful positions in the German government, the decree was used as the legal basis for the imprisonment of anyone who considered to be opponents of the Nazis
Nazis.
and to suppress publications not considered friendly. Does that sound familiar
Yeah,
at all?
the tweets that we were looking at earlier, they were talking about adding us to lists because we don't fall in line with what they want. So, like,
Polite society.
yeah, polite society.
We don't fit in the polite society. We are the opponents.
No, yeah.
And it's an interesting inversion that's happened because they've got the Nazi paranoia where they've now, in order to carry out the same actions that the Nazis did, they call us Nazis in order to morally justify what they're doing. Fascinating. Good technique. I can't knock them on the technique. It's very effective.
I mean, yeah, I've been trying to say this for years about the political left and the kind of tactics that they use to impose their worldview it's very, very reminiscent of Nazi Germany and what the Nazis did in order to get power and to get people to be on their side. It's like, oh, well, if you're not on our side, then you're against us, and we got to do something about that. And then what did he do with all the people that were against him? People think that he gassed just Jews. Like, yeah, he gassed mostly Jews, but he also gassed disabled people, colored people, just anybody that went against him, he gassed them.
The decree is considered by historians as one of the key steps in establishing the one-party Nazi state in Germany.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
I mean, that's what he did. People think I'm a freaking Nazi because I try to be observant and be like, yo, yes, what the Nazis did was terrible, but they were very, very smart in how they did what they did. Like they were very, very intelligent.
No, it was executed well, and we're seeing, a recreation of that here because
It was done so well that we're redoing it in this present tense.
alt-centrism is the perspective of an objective observer. If you were to present an objective observer with the events of January 6th and the subsequent actions, and then give them the description of the Reichstag fire, they would find the similarities. They're very apparent for anyone. You don't have to have a political bias one way or the other to acknowledge that. So it's just, like I said, people, parallel societies.
We're going into parallel societies.
They're coming.
We're already there, and people like you and I and others are seeing that, and we're trying to get people to understand that it's happening, and then the rest of the people are just like, no. I'm gonna just not take a side. It's
Like
fine.
Derek says, at least we have Antifa in this country to prevent the Nazis from taking over. And the most hilarious part, I hope the history books properly record the irony of the entire situation, because we're coming off of a year where we've had probably the biggest wealth transfer from the poor to the rich in history, with the COVID lockdowns.
Yes.
All small businesses, families lost their income. All that wealth has
Middle
been
class is like already small enough, and it just got
stomping out the middle class in favor of large corporations. Not large corporations,
But just
massive super corporations like Amazon.
Amazon, Walmart, Target.
Antifa didn't say anything. They're all about the poor, and bringing up the poor and fighting against the rich, tax the rich, eat the rich, etc., etc. There was graffiti right outside my place that said "Eat the rich,"
Oh God.
so I know it's a real thing. They didn't say anything about that. They didn't say anything about how all of our freedoms are being restricted. This authoritarian control from the state governments are being placed upon us. You can't go out to
But
eat.
you want to know what they do?
You can't go to the movies.
You want to know what they do? They do on their social media platforms post about small businesses instead. So that way you'll go and give your money to these small
Oh,
businesses.
they'll post about black-owned businesses.
Yeah, or black-owned businesses, because they need all the help. They need more help than anybody. Like,
So coming off of the year of ultimate irony, 2020, and the Antifa, 2020 was the year that we all discovered that Antifa was just an absolute joke who only cares about their own emotional gratification. They don't actually care or even know what fascism is, what that means. And now we're coming into the Neo Reichstag Fire.
And then when you talk about, you try to get from these people what define fascism. They can't define it. And you pull up a dictionary definition of it, and they're like, no, that's not what it is. I'm like, oh, well, this is Merriam-Webster's dictionary. This is Oxford's dictionary.
They'll give you a
Urban
long
Dictionary.
They'll give you a long definition that's about this long if you wrote it out, because they're trying to they don't know the definition.
They don't know.
But they're just trying to succinctly describe everything that they associate with the word fascism into one long sentence, because they, like I said, they don't know what fascism is.
And most of them, they just don't really know.
Wait. Okay, can you define fascism?
Isn't
Or what was your definition of fascism?
fascism is, to me, it's very similar to totalitarianism, where it's centralized power and control of everything, or control of just about everything in your life.
It's pretty good.
That's one. That's what I think of fascism, and I don't want that. But I know that a lot of these Antifa losers out there would be like, no, fascism is what the Republicans are. They want you to have your own businesses and and be able to prosper. That's total fascism. They don't want you to have and also fascists don't want you to have free speech. Most of the fascists I know, they shut down free speech rallies.
It's true. So see what you're doing. You defined it well, and then you went on to describe what happens with fascism. So I want to give everyone the definition of fascism.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
probably
educate me.
the most succinct definition that you should use. So fascism is defined by two key characteristics.
Okay.
You had it correct. It's the centralization of power, and then it's emphasis on the group over the individual.
Yes.
Collectivism over the individual.
Tribalism.
It's collectivism and centralization of power. That's what fascism is. Because the word fasci in Italian, it means like a bundle, a group, or a collection of, I think they sticks or something like that. But that's the actual meaning of the word. So yeah, but what if you ask a leftist streamer what fascism is, like,
Oh, it's a system by which colonial rulers impose authoritarian power using white supremacy.
and they throw in all the buzzwords, like, no,
They're just jerking you off.
it's it's
They're
a joke.
they're doing a digital jerk off when the leftist streamers define fascism, because to them fascist is capitalism. They think the capitalists are the fascists.
Here we go. MA's got a comment here. One thing that I noticed that was very interesting in my far left city that I lived in that was being destroyed, the Freemason building was untouched. Yes, I knew you guys could figure out a way to bring additional layers of conspiracy into this. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for bringing
Thank you, MA.
Freemasons into this stream, MA. We love that. Because
No,
the Freemasons are in
they
on
don't-
it, MA. Don't you know?
They don't even know what the Freemasons are.
Yeah, they don't have any.
No, you know
idea.
why the Freemason building was untouched? Because it was well constructed.
I was gonna say
It
yeah.
was probably made out of stone, and they couldn't actually do anything to it.
Probably has like the pillars on the front, and it's a beautiful building. And why would you want to destroy something like that, anyways? Like if I was an Antifa looter, I wouldn't want to destroy that. Like, but then again, a lot of them aren't logical, so. They just go after black-owned businesses instead that look like shit. That's what they would rather
No,
go for.
it's almost like they target minority-owned businesses.
Little bit.
I watched rioters out of this very window.
Right behind us.
People, if
Right down the street over
if
here.
I lifted up the camera, you could see where I saw the rioters coming in. There's a basketball shoe store right over there, and they completely looted and burned the whole thing. I think that was minority-owned.
But they're not. That's peaceful protesting, Jeremy.
Peaceful.
That's peaceful.
Those are reparations.
Yeah, that's reparations. I talked to my dad about this earlier in the day. It's like a lot of these people, they just think that like they're entitled to loot these stores, and that's their payment. That's their reparations.
No, they got the reparations. They got the reparations in 2020. That was fulfilled. They were able to go out and just steal whatever they wanted.
It's true.
They got
They
their
got
their Jordans. They got their TV.
They got the TV, the Jordans, the PS5s, all the stuff that they wanted. They got
I don't know if they were able to find PS5s, but they got the reparations.
PS4s, Xboxes. I don't know.
Digital jerk off should be a T-shirt. merch opportunity.
Merch
right
line, digital jerk off. I
There. Sorry,
trademarked it. Sorry, y'all.
sorry for the vulgarity. But
Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jeremy's mom and dad. I know you probably
Yeah.
watched the stream.
Look
Love
up-
you.
Or masonry like the Empire State Building. A plane hit it years ago. Nothing happened. Yeah, it was a smaller plane, but yeah, the point stands. Good construction.
Yeah, good construction.
I also heard the Freemasons started the KKK to justify the reaction to it. Oh, nice. All right. I like MA. See, MA is the type of person that we need in our after-hour stream where we can talk about all that kind of stuff.
Hell yeah. MA's
Without having to worry
MA's
about-
the best. Go girl.
YouTube.
We love the strong, independent-minded females up in this house.
Oh, Athenian's dropping some hot knowledge here. He says, statue of the Roman general Cincinnatus by the river. I hope I pronounced that right. By the river here holds one of those axes with a bundle of sticks around it, meant to symbolize him offering back dictatorial powers. Interesting.
Yeah.
Historian over there.
She is a bit of a historian.
Oops.
She's a pretty smart little cookie, that one.
Sticks around the axe symbol. Wait, she said something earlier about the sticks around the axe
Hold
symbol.
on. Pause, scroll up. Gotta check
Scrolling
this out.
Uh,
Obama's third term.
Oh, the sticks around the axe is the symbol of fascism. Is that what you're saying? Okay. See, that makes a lot more sense.
Okay, well, I mean, I didn't even know fascism had their own symbol. Like,
So
like I said, I'm not the smart one.
obviously you didn't
I'm
go
not
to,
the smart
you
one
didn't
on
go to
this
school
stream.
for
He
gender
is.
studies
I didn't.
because you would have learned that in your gender studies degree that fascism means collectivism and centralization of
Hey,
power.
Athenian, you're smart and beautiful too.
So I want to get a read on the audience here since we got millions of people in here, and we're already a tight knit community. Even though we don't live next to each other, I do want to know what you guys are thinking, how you're feeling. Give me a 1 in chat if you're feeling a little unsure or some anxiety about the entire situation right now. Give me a 2 if you don't care and you're chill, and give me a 3 if you are just looking for a direction and you don't know exactly what to think. So 1 if you're a little anxiety, 2 if you don't care, and 3 if you're just looking for an answer. I'm curious because from what I can sense on Twitter, most people are just like in pure panic mode.
Oh.
And my reaction to everything that's happened in the last week has just been like, oh, yep, yeah, okay, cool, saw that coming. We've already talked about in multiple streams ago how Donald Trump was going to get banned off of Twitter.
Oh yeah, we predicted that.
We already knew that. We've already read statements from people, I think, that worked for Twitter that said that once he's out, he's going to lose all the privileges that he has for being the president, and they're basically going to ban him immediately. But you know they were going to ban him. They were going to find some reason to ban him. It doesn't matter.
Arian says Delaney must have took the lesbian dance theory class. Hell yeah, Arian. How else do I know about all this stuff?
Oh, good option. Yeah, we got some 4s in here for motivated for action.
Yeah.
Steve wants for the Yellowstone.
Rooting for the Yellowstone volcano. Hell yeah, bro.
I like that option.
I like that option too.
So I see no ones, which
No ones.
which is good. I think that means that I'm properly curating my audience, and you guys, we're in tune with what's actually happening, because that's basically what I'm at. Is I'm at 2. We got a couple.
Earther splitting Loden Boomer says 4. The best name ever. Maybe he can pronounce the full name of the Reichstag Fire.
Wait for the news cycle. Yeah, see, that's the thing. The news cycle is the spell. It's cast on you to keep you hypnotized and watching.
It's the Cobra Charmer.
You need to break that, and it's time for guerrilla warfare, people.
Yeah, so the newscast right now, the MSM is the Cobra Charmer with their friggin' whistle, just playing their song for all of us to just go.
Okay, no, MA says she's kind of like a 1, and that's perfectly fine. That's
It's okay, MA.
perfectly normal to feel that way. I think that's the standard. It's weird that most of the people in chat said 2,
I think they all just wanted to play tough.
because we do have a tough audience anyway. But,
Yeah.
But one is, I think that's standard. But the question is, what do you do with that energy that you have now? Because probably what you have is like a fight or flight response that's being triggered. And most people, when they get that fight or flight response, are like,
Oh, come on, Patriots, will take Twitter back.
they want.
Yes. They're charging into the Capitol with buffalo horns on their head.
Come on, Patriots, Section 230. Come on.
Come on, let's do it.
no.
Charge.
No.
And then Steve asked, what was 1 again?
One was, a little like
Little despair and hopelessness.
uncertain or anxious about what's actually going on.
It's okay to feel like unsure, uncertain about what's going to happen.
Well, that's the standard response. It's like I said, a 2 or 3 is abnormal. One is
Y'all are abnormal like me.
I mean, when you see these things happening, you see Jennifer Rubin, verified Twitter accounts calling for people to be separated from society into their own internment camps or whatever it is that they want to put us in. That's perfectly fine. But that fight or flight response that you get triggered from reading that kind of stuff and sensing that kind of thing, you need to harness that energy into the right direction. And the wrong direction, I can tell you for sure, I'm not 100% sure on the right direction. I can tell you it's more towards decentralization, but I can tell you 100% the wrong direction is,
Come on, Patriots, Section 230. Come
Yeah.
on, let's storm the Capitol.
Let's storm the Capitol and take pictures in Nancy Pelosi's desk and
Come on, Patriots,
and
let's
steal
fix
lamps from her office.
Patriots, let's fix the system. We need
Fix the
transparent
system.
voting.
And then have the Secret Service, whoever guards the Capitol, just draw guns on us too. Like that was pretty nuts too.
I know for sure that's not the right way.
I know that's not the right way
So
either.
if you
but
want to keep doing the musket lines where you're pointing at each other and saying, okay, fire, and then reload the musket and then fire. No, this team, if you guys follow me, this is the start of our own community, of our own tribe, where we are going to be focusing on decentralization, reducing the power of institutions in our lives. And because I'm probably going to get banned for saying that, you need to follow me on locals.com right here. See this?
that little label.
Weeklynarrative.locals.com, because we need to go to a place where we're not going to get banned immediately. The locals might have their payment platform revoked. That's fine. It doesn't mean it means I can't charge you guys, but we can still talk.
Yeah, we can
And
still
that's the
have
whole
a place
point.
to talk about these things.
And like I said, I'm actively taking action to decentralize myself. I'm full gun on this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, somebody's got to do it.
Full gun, baby.
I mean, all the other conservative leaders are all saying that we need to fight back and resist and all this, and it's like, yeah, that's great and all, but
Oh yeah, so MA brings up a good point.
it's
She
not
says
enough.
it's true. MA brings up a point. She says, if there's a real civil war, I'll be on the opposite side from my families, and that's sad.
Yeah, that's the kind of boat I'm in, MA. I would be on the opposite side of my family if there was a civil war, and I don't want that to happen. And think about it. During the actual civil war that happened in the United States, how many people, like, actually maybe fought against people that they knew.
No, see, this isn't a Civil War channel.
It's
if
not.
you guys want the fear porn stuff, you can go watch Timcast.
Yeah, go to
Okay,
Tim.
this
He's
is
great.
This is where we are directing all of our energy in a purely
don't wanna
productive manner.
We don't want to fight
I'm
and
not
worry
saying I
about
don't want
that.
to fight. I'm just saying there's no fear in my forward-looking
Mm-hmm.
outlook.
We are adapting because to me that's what it's about. It's being able to overcome and adapt, or adapt and overcome at the same time.
Nice. She's learning.
I
She's
mean,
learning, guys.
the,
That's exactly what I would have said. She got that from me, I think.
I mean, I've had that deep inside of me, but being around you more has brought that out in me definitely, because the patriot side of me is like, no, I'm gonna stand and fight and stand my ground.
Come on, Patriots.
Come on, Patriots. Let's
Section
do
230.
it. Yeah, section this, and this, and we'll be able to get our guy in.
Never
No,
gonna get old.
like it's not a long-term thing. There's no foreseeable future in that kind of mentality right now.
No, what we had happen yesterday and this week was kind of
An awakening.
a cannonball hitting very close to our camp. Mm-hmm. Right, it went off, and now we're in shock. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows what the hell's going on. I'm in shock. You're in shock to some degree. We're all in shock a little bit. That's normal, but the response shouldn't be seeking out immediate gratification.
Yeah.
Come on, Patriots, storm the Capitol.
We need to
It's not long term.
sit back, take a breath. Okay, you're not in immediate danger.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath, assess the situation, and reconfigure your brain to think more long term. Because we do still have the freedom and the resources to act on our own behalf. We won't for a long time, so there
Yeah.
is some urgency to the situation, but we do right now.
So if you can buy an island or buy a nice little plot of
Yeah, if you guys
land,
got hook up for an island,
if you
let me know.
guys if you've got an island or a nice plot of land up in the tundra or something that's super cheap, like let's do it.
Buy some land in the Yukon.
Yeah, buy some land in the Yukon where there's like all we can eat is caribou and bear every once in a while.
We would get so jacked.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Michael Alcacer says, 4 years ago, I was telling my family that the election of Trump was a sign that people are unhappy. Over the last 4 years, that didn't change. Their hope for change was voted down.
A little bit.
Yes. Yeah. No. What the election of Biden over Trump represents the re-establishment of the establishment. Mm-hmm. Guys, Biden didn't win.
The reestablishment of the establishment.
Biden doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
Biden is not a person. He's not a candidate. He's not a president.
He's a robot.
It's the establishment. No, you don't even have to
I
assign
mean-
something like that to him. He doesn't even exist.
I mean, I think
He's a
robot.
figment of your imagination. The people in power now, again, are the establishment.
Mm-hmm.
Trump had the problem doing what you said of, restoring people's happiness and making changes that people actually wanted to see.
Yeah.
Because the establishment was still present to some degree,
They didn't want him to succeed.
overseeing his entire presidency.
They didn't want him to.
Now they have complete control again.
They didn't want him to accomplish anything that he said he would, and he accomplished a
And
lot.
he's
of thi-
still accomplished
He
a lot.
still accomplished a lot. That's why I respect the hell out of the man, because he said, "I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and if I don't do any of those things in 4 years, then don't reelect me." But he accomplished quite a few things on the list of X, Y, and Z that he said he was going to do. So that's why I voted for him in 2020, because I was like, he said he was going to do all these things, and he actually accomplished quite a bit. So
He did. He is going to go down again. Alternative centrist, alt-centrist, objective
Alt-centrist.
observer perspective. I think Trump is going to go down as one of the best presidents of
one
all
of
time.
the best, yeah.
One of the best of all time.
Not
I'm not
the
even.
best.
You guys know me. I'm not even a big Trump guy. And I will say that.
Yeah, he's gonna. I'm not saying he's the best, but just one of the best.
Commander Osas also says that he has other people on the other side of his family that he would fight in the Civil War. See, that's the whole thing that
Yeah, that's what we try to avoid.
See, my solution takes that into account.
Yeah.
My solution, or the solution that I'm offering, the decentralization, the forming your own communities, it takes that into account. You don't have to fight your own family.
You just live alongside of them. And
Well, you can let them live in the parallel society while you live in another society over here. You're living in the same country, but you are living in a parallel society within that country. You don't have
Yep.
to fight them.
yeah, no way. Unless like they,
I don't want to
force
fight
the
anybody either.
Unless they force the fight, then of course I'm going to defend myself.
If they come to my village in my log cabin,
Watchtower.
they get to see my boomstick.
Yeah, they get to see my boomstick. Hell yeah. They get to see it go boom boom.
But I'm not gonna go.
You're not going to go into their domain.
But
and-
Steve says he wants to grow a big ass beard for Civil War.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. Jeremy and Delaney, will you tell the story of how you met
$2 super chat from MA.
MA with a super chat.
Okay.
She's got a request.
Okay.
So you think you can summarize that story real quick?
Okay. So back in May, I decided to go to a Reopen California protest here at the Capitol here in Sacramento. And I had been following Jeremy's channel for a little while, and I knew what he looked like. And while I was in the sea of Trump gear and red, white, and blue, I was the only one wearing a tie-dye shirt. And I saw him, and I was like, I think that's Jeremy. So I walked up to him and was like, hey, you're from Weekly Narrative, right? He's like, yeah, you actually recognize me. That's kind of cool. And so we just started talking, and he was like, you're a really cool person. We exchanged information. You know, we talked out here and there for months. And then finally I was like, hey, dude, like, well, I invited him to a different event, which was like a Unite the Right event at the Capitol. And I was like, hey, like, let's meet up and, you know, talk. And I told him, I was like, I kind of want to get into, you know, live streaming or podcasting, but I don't know where to start. And he was like, hey, I'll help you out. So we've been kind of doing that ever since.
Took her under my wing.
Yeah, he's, you know,
Here we go.
nurtured me in his little hand.
Following in my walking the walk. You see that right there?
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad Emma asked that question because it demonstrates that I'm walking the walk. I'm trying to build my own community.
Yeah, I mean, he's been a really good.
I found the girl with the tie-dye shirt. I'm like,
Normally he wouldn't talk to somebody like me because he's like, ugh. He's like, I don't know about this girl. She's got short hair and like wearing tie-dye, typical lesbian, but she's wearing MAGA gear and, you know.
Oh, Arian was like, Arian says, I think Jeremy met Delaney by trying to hit on her, not realizing she was a lesbian.
Well, yeah, no, that's not true at all. More like I was fangirling over him because I recognized him.
I actually do get recognized quite a bit.
I was like, I know this guy. I follow, because I also follow like Fog City Midge, because she's one of the few local, semi-local content creators. So it's like her and like Nuance Bro and Jeremy. And I actually saw and interviewed with Fog City Midge at that protest. So if you want to see me getting interviewed on that protest, go to her channel. I don't want me to promote her, but go to her channel. And
I'm reading the comments.
But that's where I met him. And like I said, if you watch the video, there's just a sea of just red, white, and blue Trump gear, and I'm the only one wearing a freaking tie-dye shirt. So it was pretty great. And that's the thing that she told me. She's like, wow, you're like the only person out here wearing dressed like this. I was like, hell yeah, girl. Of course. Gotta represent.
It's true. It was a good time.
It was fun. And Jeremy was like, dude, I've never seen this many people like protesting in front of the Capitol before. This is kind of cool. And we actually got kicked out of the freaking Capitol.
I didn't make a video. I just went to check it out.
Yeah, he wasn't filming or interviewing. He was just there to check it out. And we actually got kicked out of the park by the state police. So that was pretty fun, getting kicked out by the state police.
It's happened to me several times. We got Erg Split and Loud Boomer says to my proposed solution, is it a final solution?
I mean,
well,
is it your final answer?
Some might say so. Some might see the fact that I'm 100% European and say, he's got a final solution.
Yeah, right?
But no, I don't think it's a final solution. That's actually
it's just a solution.
Well, to kind of pivot off of that, a lot of people get stuck in this mindset, and I think that's what we're seeing right now. People get stuck in the mindset of wanting to be the savior of everything and wanting to have a solution that fixes the problem until the end of time.
Nope. Just find your own solution that works for you.
You've been tricked into thinking that you need to propose a solution. Like, we need to get conservatives that'll stand up for free speech, and we need to get, we need to repeal Section 230 and all. They think they're going to have solutions that are going to last for eternity and permanently fix things, but they don't understand they're going to be in a constant state of flux.
Yeah.
Constant state of fighting against this.
There's always going to be friction.
And nothing's ever going to be perfect either.
And I mean, a little friction's okay, but too much friction is no
even
good.
Hitler's final solution wouldn't have been final. Something would have came up, there would have been like a Jew uprising or something like that, and then
the Jews and the gays and the gypsies and the blacks and the cripples would have revolted against the internment camps.
The reason why I say that is because, I'm telling you, decentralize and form your own communities and form a village or whatever. That's not going to last forever either,
No,
people.
it's not.
This is a reiteration, and just like evolution, it takes steps. An animal lives, and then it has babies, and then it dies.
We're just
But,
waiting out everybody else killing each other. How about that?
I mean, that's the principle behind it. It really is the principle behind it. It's realistically speaking, guys, how long can a society last when everyone's cutting their own dicks off
And cutting their boobs off,
and running around,
cutting their uteruses out.
running around being proud of the fact that they have anxiety and depression, and they don't even know what bathroom to use? Come on.
International depression.
And they are just chronic international depression. That does not last long, guys.
Definitely does not.
Let's be
Because
honest.
we don't even know what international depression is.
I'm still waiting to get my international depression.
I'm waiting for my international depression
No,
check.
true international depression.
True international depression, the check.
Oh shit! Athenian says she owns 113 acres.
Oh.
Whoa.
Okay, well we're gonna be.
She's
hitting-
ready.
Yeah,
She's already 2 steps ahead of me.
Yeah, so we're gonna be moving on to that. Okay, so
Well, if you want a capable, strong, masculine figure to build and develop that land, get in touch.
oh, Stalking Horse says I cut history class. Okay, yeah, whatever. I cut just as much as all the other leftists. Sure.
Both my parents have TDS. Yeah, and that's a lot of what's going on. And see, I thought about that long and hard. That's one of the reasons why I came up with the strategy that I did, because nobody wants to have to fight people. And every solution that you hear everywhere else, go to Ben Shapiro, go to Blaze TV, go to whatever it is, and everything you're gonna hear is all about conflict, fight back, fight for 230, do this. It's all leading down the same path, and it's the exact same thing that what the left is doing. You're fighting them on their own terms on the same battlefield. It's time for guerrilla warfare. I'm sorry I have to repeat that so much, but that's really what's going to happen.
Oh, okay, Athenian. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
See you. Thanks for stopping by, Athenian.
Hell yeah.
If violence doesn't solve anything, why do we keep going to war? Because it makes a bunch of money.
Well, yeah, and also too it makes us feel better.
I mean, I'll be honest, when Biden got elected, I transferred all of my stock to Raytheon and Lockheed Martin
Hell yeah.
on my Robinhood, because, like Stalking Horse kind of implies, war is profitable. And that brings up a great point that I want to touch on. Thanks for Stalking Horse for bringing up this whole new. Was that Stalking Horse or Steve? No, that was Steve. I get those two guys confused. Steve said, if war doesn't solve anything, then why do we keep going to war? Because companies like Raytheon, the military-industrial complex, needs to get fed, and they haven't been fed in a long time. Now, what we're gonna have going into, and tell me if you agree with this, going into a Biden administration for
Okay.
4 years, we're gonna have a massive hole of negative energy where there used to be Trump, and there used to be a whole complex, a Trump industrial complex
Yeah.
around talking about Trump in a negative way, sharing stories on the media about Trump, and making money off of that. That was a whole economy, a whole business.
Yeah.
That's going to be gone now.
Oh, totally.
So
They're
all
gon-
that negative energy needs to be refocused somewhere else. And the media's not going to talk trash about Biden.
Yeah. They're going to lick his ass.
So what's going to happen? I'll make a prediction right here. Early or somewhat early into the Biden administration, because there's a massive hole for negative energy, a massive hole for news stories that are going to get clicks,
Of course.
and a massive economic hole for these media companies who don't have any Trump stories to share anymore, and Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, and Boeing, and all these other military companies haven't had any good wars recently. We're going to go to war.
Yeah, there's going to be some.
We're going to start some wars,
There's gonna
guys. Get
be
ready
some
for
kind of
some
something.
wars,
Yeah.
because they are effective at generating revenue.
Of course they are. Like, yeah. That's what helped get the United States out of the Great
Come
Depression.
on, Raytheon stock.
Come on. Come on, man.
Purge, 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 purge.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the purge became something real.
Ben is not libertarian. He is proper conservative. He's not freedom like few are, I think you meant to say.
Like-
No, that's what I'm saying. If you've listened to the traditionally conservative guys, all they're going to talk about is
Fight back, Patriots! Come
Yeah.
on! Repeal Section 230. Oh, big tech is censoring
Yeah.
us. Storm the Capitol.
all that kind of stuff.
Storm, 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 storm.
That's the complete, guys. Those guys are still in the game. As alt-centrists, as objective observers, you need to step outside the game gain the bigger picture perspective, see what's going on, watch the Ben Shapiro fight the guys on the left,
Yeah.
and just laugh while you're eating your popcorn, and then devise your own strategy for decentralizing.
I mean, that would be a pretty fun battle if we had like a Hunger Games scenario, or was Ben Shapiro versus like one Antifa. See who would win. I don't
Ben
know.
Shapiro versus one Antifa.
Or maybe two.
Stalemate.
Yeah, it would be a
I'd
pretty.
call stalemate on that.
Yeah, it's a pretty big stalemate because Ben's not a fighter. He's more
Mm.
of a talker.
Oh, Shapiro just took a handful of piss to the face. He's disabled. Antifa's going for the neck grab.
Right?
I can hear that fight being cast right now.
It would not be. It would be like a WWE match. It really would. It really would be like, oh, so and so has the lock of hair. So and so just did a thumb to the eye. It's just yeah. It's not a
Oh, Athenian dropped a hot comment. I gotta scroll up here and read that.
okay.
When my keyboard works here.
think
She says we're keeping her up.
Okay,
We got to make a product that's so in demand that you will
good.
stay
I know you
got to
get up early for work.
We said that
but
right before we
You
started
know
the
you
stream.
want to watch me. Like, look how cute I am. Come on now.
Come on, mouse work.
I know I'm not that smart, and
Do
I
you guys
don't
see
know
this-
history
do you
very
see
well.
this female privilege right here?
Right? Well, I mean, I'm over here. I'm not like spouting any privilege. I'm just like, hey, I'm not that smart and I'm not that intelligent and I don't know history according to these guys. But hey, y'all are still listening. So,
All right, she says easier to defend cabin on a hill, a steep one hidden in a grove in the winter, damn near impossible to reach. She needs to be in our village.
yes.
She knows what's going on. That's you get access. You're instantly invited.
You're into the village.
She's
You're
already
in.
she's already into the strategy and everything. You already know.
Hell yeah. Let's do
Who's
it.
gonna invade you in the middle of the Yukon?
Well, no, I think hers was in
I'm just
Ohio.
saying. I'm just saying. Theoretically, in the cold weather,
Yeah.
no one's gonna come and do anything.
Not to mention, nobody really wants to invade Ohio.
No offense.
No offense to Ohioans, but nobody really wants to invade y'all.
Okay.
Even though you guys are a really pretty powerful state, not gonna lie.
Okay, their thing is they don't fight back. Oh, what happened? Osis's comment. Now, chat is on fire right now. I have to keep scrolling
know.
up. Okay, Osis says the thing is if they don't fight back at all, then what? Leftists run through shot over the Constitution?
Hell yeah. That's their That's
okay.
their tactic.
Good question. No, it's a valid question that needed to be asked and it needs explanation, and it's one that I've thought about. So the Constitution itself, is a set of ideas. That set of ideas isn't going anywhere. The set of ideas isn't being adhered to right now in institutions that we have in power. You could already say that it's being run roughshod over. However, what you need to understand, and this is the long-term part of it. This is why I keep mentioning long-term. You have to remove that necessity for immediate gratification from your psychological patterns. We're thinking long-term here, okay?
Yeah.
America's only 200 years old, guys.
Yeah.
Empires
We're
last
little babies.
empires last hundreds and hundreds of years. We've got a long way to go. We will preserve this. You just need to be smart about it.
Yes.
We can preserve those values in our own smaller scale communities. You don't have to have control over all 350 million people for the Constitution to be preserved. You can preserve that in smaller communities,
Yep.
smaller villages, and then once all the leftists who are, they're not even reproducing anyway,
Yeah.
because they're chopping their own genitals off, and they think that having kids is going to be against, it's going to do harm to the
environment.
To the environment. Thank you. They're not going to have kids, guys. They're going to be gone in 2 generations.
Oh yeah. They're gonna kill themselves off and starve themselves to death.
I made the analogy a couple streams ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, that we're in the stage where we're routed, and in battle terminology, that means we've made our charge. We've gotten scattered. We need to regroup. We are routed right now. We need to regroup. We're in the regrouping stage. Regroup, form the communities, reestablish the principles, and start raising your own children who have those principles while you wait for the other people over here who don't have any resources. They're trapped in their own castle, cutting their own genitals off. They're not going to survive, guys. Like I
Yeah.
said, 2 generations max. These new generations that are coming up we're already seeing are more conservative than the last.
Oh yeah.
They're getting more conservative because as the establishment becomes leftist based, the new generations, the kids, they always rebel against whatever the establishment is.
Yep.
So once everything is leftist, the new kids coming up, they're going to be like, oh yeah, screw that. I want
Screw the
whatever-
rainbow flags and the Black Lives
whatever
Matter
the opposite of
flags.
that is. It's only a matter of time. Okay. And it will probably happen in our lifetime. That's how pathetic and weak these people are.
A little bit.
It is a waiting game, but it's also a regroup and re-strengthening game.
Yep. We've got to be smarter, we've got to work smarter, not harder.
So good
folks.
question. The answer, there you go.
Yeah. Work smarter, not harder. Like,
Long term.
think long term. Don't let them Don't let your emotions get the better of you. Because, like, yeah, emotionally, yeah, I want to storm the
No,
Capitol.
everybody wants to fight back,
yeah,
Patriots.
fight back, Patriots, stand up for your rights, all that stuff. Like, that's great.
Repeal 230, Patriots.
That's a great idea, but that's not. It's just not a long-term thing. They're just.
Is Steve out? Later, Steve.
Yep.
Is he going to play Borderlands again?
Oh
Yep,
yeah, hell
yep,
yeah.
Borderlands. Steve, you got to get the Cyberpunk going. Come on, man.
Says I'll check out the vid. I love you, Delaney. You're the best. Hell yeah, love you too.
See you, Athenian.
Hell yeah, girl.
If people did better on the local and state level in terms of politics, the left can be held off. Bingo! Bingo, bingo, bingo. Dari's on point tonight. See, local government, in an ideal world, should be the farthest level of government that you should care about. You care about who governs your local village or town or city, whatever it is. You don't care about who governs the state.
Yeah.
You don't care about who governs the country.
Yeah.
Because they have little to no effect on
The
you.
federal government should be like far away from your thought process on how to be successful.
Yes, good point. Yeah, we need to refocus.
The local and
on,
the state have more to say on
refocus on local governments.
on
Great,
everything else.
great comment, Dari. It's true.
Yep. Y'all are, like I said, y'all are beautiful and smart.
And you can tell he's right because that's exactly what the leftists are doing. The leftists are focusing on local government. Look at Los Angeles County.
Yeah, all leftists.
Gascon, the new DA who just got elected, was pumped his whole entire campaign, millions of dollars by guess who? I can't say his name, but his first name starts with a G and his last name starts with an S. You guys can fill in the rest.
I mean, somebody in the chat already said it, so.
There you go. And that same person is funding local government campaigns across the country because they know that local government is what matters.
Oh, yeah. I've known that since I took government class back in my senior year of high school.
Guys, the local government in LA, if you weren't there for the live stream that we talked about this like 3 weeks ago or whatever it was, LA County has now basically legalized everything from public drunkenness, drinking in public, prostitution, I think breaking and entering, resisting police. All this stuff is now completely legal in the most populous county in the entire country because of the local government. The local government's where the power is at. Stop focusing so much on the executive office, the presidency. It doesn't matter. And if you were to make a pie chart of influence on your life and where the president sat and where local government sat, the president would take up a tiny little sliver.
Yeah, president has very little to say in your day-to-day life.
Yeah,
Your local government
but
has
that's
more
where
to
we've
say.
been we've been influenced and distracted into thinking that the president is everything. Orange man bad.
Orange man bird, get him
Patriots.
out. Patriots unite. Patriots unite. Orange man bad. He wants to zap the gays. He wants to get rid of all of us. Yeah.
Oh, Derek brings up a good point. He says, I emailed my county commissioners to address a mask mandate. They never responded. I think it was South Carolina or West Virginia, one of those. They actually introduced bills. They introduced bills to prevent any kind of discrimination from happening for not getting vaccines and things like that. So, again, local government, big, massive changes that are going to influence your life. That's where the kind of stuff that you want to look at. Look for that kind of stuff. I don't know which state. Maybe you guys can tell me. Splitting Loud Boomer says, I'm in Ohio. People don't get when the dollar goes to shit. They're not going to pump water to Vegas and SoCal for free. We have the biggest freshwater supply in the world. Really? I didn't know that. That's interesting. Democrats are trying to turn the country into California. California is going to collapse on itself, but it's going to be a long while. Yes. Well, I mean, if you actually look into what's happening in the nitty-gritty in California, it's an absolute joke. I mean, we have mass unemployment fraud happening, billions of dollars. We have mass fraud happening for housing. Housing is one of the biggest issues in California, and that's a whole fraud industry in and of itself, where there's no oversight, government doesn't care. They hand out billions of dollars to help the homeless populations, and that money just gets eaten up by contractors and construction businesses who basically steal the money and don't make the houses. That's when you get like the $2 million shed. They build a shed that can hold a bed and a refrigerator for like $2 million. It's a slight exaggeration, but that's basically what's happening in California right now. So when you guys hear about how California is trying to fight homelessness, what you should be envisioning is somebody handing a fat stack of cash to a contractor. They make a shed that you pick up at Home Depot for $300, and they charge the state $2 million for that. It's an absolute joke. So you're right. It's California's. It's only a matter of time. We're burning down fast. Arian says, Jeremy, I'm with you. Less government, but that is not going to work in 20 years' time when technology makes 75% unemployable because of AI and better robotic machinery. Okay.
That's why we need to educate ourselves and learn how to build and create the AIs. Because the AIs need people to repair them. So
Well, that's one path, but the path that I'm proposing would be more of like, you live in a society where you don't even interact or care about the AIs at all.
yeah, I don't.
Again, the Amish thing, I have to keep using that, but how much would the Amish care about AIs being used to manufacture stuff?
Oh, they don't give a crap because
They don't care. They're still going to be happy.
They create their own stuff. They don't even rely on mass manufacturing of stuff, like mass manufactured goods.
He's right, though. It is going to change quite a bit. And actually, I would say his argument is an argument in favor of what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's necessarily you have to reduce the size of the government or the power of the government. I'm just saying you can move your position in relation to your government, in relation to the institutional powers. You can distance yourself from
you
that.
can.
You can't do much about the government itself, but you can distance yourself from their influence.
There's like no frigging way that you can like not pay taxes and survive on this land, because at some point the government wants their slice of the cake. So there are just certain truths that are inevitable. Like you have to pay taxes at some point for either the property that you live on or the amount of money that you make. You have to give the government their due. But you can do your best to try to give the government their bare ass minimum and make sure that they don't nickel and dime you.
Yeah, you can move to a state that has very low state taxes. You can work remote while you're building the village, for example. Just as a hypothetical, work remote as you're building a village, pay the federal taxes, but then you slowly come onto a system to where you have your own local currency. And maybe you eventually get to a point to where you don't have to have a job where you're using the U.S. dollar as your currency in your local community, for example.
Just trade with your neighbors. Trade, back in the old days.
Well, the version of the decentralization that I'm thinking about is definitely more technologically based, where you
'Cause
could
you're
just
the
use
techno
you
god,
could use
you need your
cryptocurrency.
You need your technology.
We need technology. No, I'm not talking about, guys. I'm not talking about making a log cabin and then just like taking a dump in a bucket. I'm talking about Starlink, high-speed internet from anywhere in the world, solar panels with massive lithium battery arrays where we have air conditioning, heat, all that
And
kind
you're
of
not
stuff.
tapped into the grid for
Underground vertical farming apparatuses, aquaponics. Guys, I'm talking about luxury, just not in a city. You can get everything now with technology on a small scale. That's really all it's about. It's just reducing the scale. You don't have to live in a 22 million people person LA County. You can live in a 220 person village and still have all the luxuries of a city.
Stalking Horse says Jeremy bucks, Delaney dollars. Hell yeah. Except my name is spelled Delaney, just for future reference, Stalking Horse.
I got to get that. I'm gonna get in touch with the Federal Trade Commission and see if I can start a new crypto.
Start your own Jeremy bucks.
Jeremy bucks.
Jeremy bucks. I like that.
Weekly narrative bucks.
Weekly narrative bucks.
It'll take years for the majority of living people to accept interacting with AI.
We are already interacting with AI, Dari. We just don't know it most of the time.
It's true. I mean, this election was controlled and won by AI. If you think about it.
I think Joe Biden's totally
I think that's
AI.
a completely true statement. Well, think about it. All the algorithms that run the advertisements and the stories that you rate online and that promote certain stories on social media sites, all controlled by AI. So
It is.
people want to hear the rage stories about how Trump's doing bad. AI pumps that to the top. People don't want to hear, they don't want to hear stories about Trump doing things good. Those stories don't get shared.
Yeah, they don't get shared at all.
Hence you get, the reason why nobody heard stories about how Biden's son was, doing crack and getting prostitutes and making deals with China.
Having sex with underage girls.
AI already controls. If we can reasonably say that AI swung or controlled this election, AI is already in control of everything anyway. I don't care if they just control a manufacturing plant and I don't get to, make my widgets anymore. It's an AI robot that's making them. Who cares? If they can control elections, it's already done.
Arian says another issue with the 250 people communities is the sex limited options. To get laid, one has to interact with other groups, otherwise inbreeding will occur. Okay, Arian, that's why we propose.
It's true.
Like, we're not inbreeding, but we we have beautiful people as opposed to just a bunch of Neanderthals.
Well, no, he's right, and I don't have an answer to that specific concern, but I love where your mindset is, because that's exactly the kind of stuff that you need to be thinking about. You need to be thinking about tribal psychology, tribal mechanics, how small villages and groups of people work. Remember, people, Dunbar's number should be held as like the epitome of how civilization and society should be based around. I mean, we're all science lovers, right? We're not science deniers. Nobody here is science deniers.
Try not to be.
Dunbar's number is the number of people that you should basically have a community with in your day-to-day life. And I think it's only like 100 or something like that, 120 max.
Yeah.
So we need to form a civilization around that, taking into consideration those concerns that Arian brings up.
And I would say that I should know what Dunbar's number is, but I'm slow and a little stupid, and I don't understand science or history, according to I think it was Robert or one of the guys in the chat. But it's okay. I'm a dumb broad, so I accept my role in life.
We're here to.
You're here to educate me.
We're here to think out loud.
Yeah.
Let me Google it real quick.
I'm thinking out loud.
Maybe that's not even Dunbar's number. Okay, here we go, guys. Dunbar's number. Because this whole idea is also going to be based off of, scientifically optimized version of a society. Because biggest problem with society right now is the scale. And Dunbar's number addresses that actual variable. Dunbar's number from Google.
Just right off the bat.
An anthropologist and evolutionary psychologist, Dunbar's fame largely focuses around a single number, 150. Okay, there we go.
You were close.
The theory of Dunbar's number posits that 150 is the number of individuals with whom any one person can maintain stable relationships.
Okay, well, I'm at like 10, so I'm on the right track.
You've got some room to grow.
I've got some definite room to grow, but at least I know I can have like a cap of 150. But I'd rather have 10 close than 150, like, kind of close. So.
Oh, wait, here we go. Robert says, a group of stoners had an idea to get 2,500 people to go to a village in Vermont and, quote, take over, since 2,500 votes would sway any local election to put in their own police chief / prosecutor.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Robert. I need to stop using Google. This is a laptop that I'm running the stream off of. I don't use it for my normal computer, but I don't use Google on my desktop. I use the Brave browser.
Yeah.
That's an interesting strategy. I mean, you could just take over a city like that if you really wanted to move 2,500 people into a locality.
Stalking sources, I have 149 to go.
Stalking horse, you've got at least 30 just from this
Right?
this channel right now.
I mean, you've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me.
More and more large corporations will continue to invest capital into automation.
Well, that's already happening.
So the foreign labor markets will become obsolete.
Good. I don't want the foreigners taking the money. I'd rather give the jobs to the robots and then have the people come in and fix the robots. So.
Well, that's the argument that guys like Andrew Yang make, is that you can become, because his whole shtick was that AI is going to take over and robots and automation.
And it's already happening, so.
But there's going to be jobs created as a result of that automation because you have to have
Somebody's got to fix the robots.
You got to fix the robots. You got to program the robots. You got to maintain the robots, et cetera, et cetera. It's gonna be a real job.
Somebody's got to do it.
You got to have cybersecurity for those robots so they don't get controlled by China and then just start killing people.
Yeah, well, and that's why, that's what's getting me about, the American spirit right now, because it used to be back in the day when all the jobs were, the jobs were gone because the manufacturing process changed. They didn't sit there and complain that something had changed. They just got training on how to do the new jobs and get the better jobs. And we've it's not that we've lost that, but it's you kind of have to kick people in the ass in order to wake them the hell up and get them to realize it
right.
Sucks that all the factory jobs are gone because of automation, but instead of getting mad that you're not in the factory doing these things anymore, why don't you learn how to work on the robots that run the factories, because that's going to pay you way more than actually being in the factory doing hard labor.
No, you're 100% right, and in a way that is the theme of tonight's show, because this is all about how people don't want to accept the paradigm changes in what we're seeing with social media, the socio-political sphere. They're just saying, come on, patriots, resist, fight back.
Resist, fight back.
We can correct the system. we've lost our ambitious, adaptive spirit, where we see a new opportunity. This should be seen as an opportunity.
It should be. Yeah, I agree. That's what I've been encouraging my friends to do. I'm like, all of the girls in my life that are like, oh, I can't get a job because I'm a girl. I'm like, that's not true. Do you know how many freaking business owners I know personally that I've worked for that would be happy to hire girls to do the jobs that they have? Like, I know a guy who runs an HVAC company, and he told me, he's like, if a woman walked through the door, she had no experience working on HVAC, and she wanted to learn, she genuinely wanted to learn and how to do a good job, he's like, I would hire her on the spot because I want to give women opportunities.
Women have 2-to-1 hiring preferences over men.
Yeah.
Out of college.
And so I try to encourage the girls in my life. I'm like, instead of sitting there complaining that you can't get a job because you're a girl, find the opportunities where you're best, like where they are more likely to give you opportunities because you're a girl, and get in on it. Don't get mad that like these jobs that you really want aren't giving you opportunity because you're a girl. Find the jobs that will give you opportunity because you're a girl and seize it. Like,
there you go.
Own it, squeeze it, wring it out for all it's worth. Don't get mad. Get smart. That's what I advise all my friends that get mad. I'm like, don't get mad. Get smart.
Don't get mad. Get glad.
Get smart. Don't get glad. Glad sucks.
Don't ever try to control the markets or innovation. It cannot be done. The government does everything they can to stop growth, and our economy still grows at 3% per year.
Yep.
So imagine a smaller society within America that has its own innovative engine, its own set of scientists, operating independently of government grants, of government regulations.
Yep.
Just throwing some seeds out there, throwing some seeds, planting some seeds. Automation will make there less jobs available because the issue UBI may need to be implemented, or government issued tech penalties to corporations to promote human employment. So that's what about equality for humans versus robots? Equal representation. There's a wage gap between me and the robots.
Robots are fine. They'll survive. They don't have to go home and feed their own little robot children at the end of the day. They get shut off and then get turned back on the next day.
MA says, I got told I would make 10 grand more as a woman for a certain job I was interested in a male-dominated field.
Right?
Women have an advantage in any field that isn't traditionally women-dominated, like nursing or veterinary. If you go in as like a cybersecurity person or an engineer, you're going to get hired over the guy every single time.
And then
having done hiring and interviews and management myself, I can tell you that from personal experience.
Commander Osis says robot maintenance will never replace the assembly line jobs they replace. I don't think so. I mean, they're building more and more robots for these assembly line jobs and these assembly line positions. So that's not exactly working in your favor. And then Commander Osis says, yeah, but the jobs girls go for actually don't produce anything. It's marketing or teaching or some other use. I agree. That's why I try to encourage girls, instead of going for the jobs that you actually want, go for the jobs that, will not only teach you something, but also they have the doors open for you, and they want you to come in there. They want to give you the opportunity. And yeah, there's a huge opportunity for marketing and teaching and all that stuff, but there are opportunities in like construction and engineering and stuff like that for girls as well. Like huge opportunities.
Big money. But it's just the girls don't want to be working and crawling through attic spaces and stuff like that. We have provided all of the solutions for you guys tonight. And, we're going to continue to see probably some pretty egregious stuff happening with Twitter and social media and all this kind of stuff going on.
We're already seeing it, so it's just going to get worse.
But if you were in this stream now, you know the proper path forward.
All of you guys are already on the list, just so you know.
Not necessarily the 100% correct path, but we all do know the incorrect path. The incorrect path forward is
Fight back, patriots. Repeal Section 230. Take back the Capitol. Impeach Biden.
That's not where your energy should be going. Your energy at this point should be going into guerrilla warfare. Decentralization.
Down in the dirt.
And hopefully we planted some seeds. I had a great time discussing it. We didn't even have that much content planned for this, but we ended up having such a great discussion with you guys in the chat. I got to thank you guys for participating so much. Before we end this, if you would, hit the like button to help us survive as much as possible on this YouTube platform. And I do strongly recommend that you go to the weeklynarrative.locals.com to join my private community, where even if we get banned by YouTube, we will continue to have these discussions in an environment where we will not get banned. Starting next Saturday, we're going to be offering us a private access live stream. So we're going to be doing 3 streams a week, folks.
Hell yeah.
Up in those numbers, because we're at 2, and that's rookie numbers, to be honest. We got to get those numbers up. But that's only going to be available for the local subscribers, so go check that out.
Hell yeah.
Follow me there.
Commander Osa says, you're not understanding my point. If you replace 10 workers with 1 robot and 1 maintenance technician, maintain 10 robots, that's 100 workers replaced with and 1 job created. Yeah, that's what they want. They don't want to pay human beings. Like, that's very smart, in my opinion. But it's also smart to like
another
learn
great
how to work
argument.
on it.
Another great argument for decentralization and forming your own communities, folks. Go to locals.com, and I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream as much as I did. I had a great time.
I enjoyed it. It was
Did
good.
you have fun?
Oh, always.
I had fun. It was a great time. We'll
Pulling
see you guys.
Pulling old JLP.
See you guys back here on Tuesday for another edition of the Weekly Narrative. If we're still here, hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend.
Bye-bye
See
now.
ya.
Sayonara.